Rodin actually writes in a letter that he was listening to Beethoven's Second Symphony when he first conceived of Eternal Springtime. And certainly you can feel that drama and the romance of Beethoven funneled through the marble. This carving of Eternal Springtime was commissioned in 1901 by Baron Lucius von Stutten, who was actually a dear friend of Rainer Maria Rilke, the great poet who very famously wrote a whole series of poems inspired by Rodin's works of art. So that dialogue between this German baron, this great poet of the late 19th, early 20th century, Beethoven, and undeniably the greatest sculptor of the late 19th century, is certainly an exciting dialogue to see in a single work of art. Rodin first comes to the subject matter around the time that he's starting to conceive of the figures that will inhabit the gates of hell, his magnum opus, which gives rise to his most important subjects, such as the Thinker, the Kiss, Eve. Rodin is working through these models for the gates of hell at this time and takes a moment to create this other sculpture, Eternal Springtime. We see in this lover's embrace a relationship to Paolo and Francesca, who were lovers in Dante's Inferno, who, after committing adultery, were condemned to an eternity locked in this lover's embrace. The difference here between The Kiss and Eternal Springtime, both seminal works of the 1880s, is that Rodin opens this lover's embrace out. So although he starts with the idea of Paolo and Francesca, there's something much more triumphant as opposed to the darkness which underlies The Kiss. It has been postulated by many academics that the reasoning for this may be that around the time that he first conceives of Eternal Springtime, he meets Camille Claudel, who will be a great love of his life. She is an apprentice in the studio, a great sculptress in her own right, and someone who will inspire him. Rodin creates a series of marbles of Eternal Springtime, and this example was singled out by Frederick Lawton in 1906 in his biography of the artist as the most exceptional example from the series. The detail in the figures' hands, in the figures' feet, in their faces, and even down to the floral motifs that Rodin incorporates into the base and under the figure's arm, that is incredibly unique to this particular carving. Of this series of marble sculptures of Eternal Springtime, we see examples sprinkled throughout some of the most incredible collections throughout the world, including the Museum of Fine Arts in Budapest, the State Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg, and the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. This marble carving of Eternal Springtime is without a doubt the most exceptional marble sculpture by Rodin to appear on the market in recent years.